But what are you doing to get your watch hours? How hard is it for you to get watch hours? You've been working on this YouTube thing for how long now? How far have you gotten? Are you still struggling? Is it a challenge to get your watch hours? You been there? Listen, if you're going through that or you've been there already, then this video is for you. Let's talk about what we can do differently. So if that's something you want to hear about, yeah, come on in. We're going to talk about it today. Hi, welcome back. I'm Mrs. G, your favorite auntie. And listen, honey, I'm telling you, I know what it's like, baby. Being out here in these YouTube streets, it's not as easy as maybe we originally thought it would be. I can say that firsthand, honey, because I'm telling you, getting these YouTube up and going is not as easy as I originally thought it was going to be. But you know what? I kept persevering, and I'm pretty sure if you're anything like Mrs. G, your favorite auntie, you ain't going to give up yet. You know what I'm saying? You come too far. He brought you too far, baby, to leave you, right? Now, you know, if you've been on the YouTube platform any length of time, you know to get monetized, you first of all got to have at least 500 subscribers and at least 3,000 watch hours to qualify for the what we call the partial monetization or that first tier of monetization. You know what I'm talking about? So in order to get that full monetization, which means that you have access to AdSense and you can run and ads can run on your content, then you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers, baby. Yes, 1,000. And it might sound like that's pretty easy, but honey, it ain't that easy. All I'm saying, baby, it's not as easy as it might sound. And the worst part, I hate to say worst part, but the most challenging part, the part that is the most challenged for most content creators is getting that 4,000 watch hours, that 4,000 initial watch hours to become fully monetized. So I'm gonna tell you about Miss G. I'm telling you, honey, I was on here, baby, blood, sweat, and tears. I went through a little stage where I just wanted to give this thing up. But the good thing about it is I had great supporters. I had great community, people in my community that said, like, Miss G, don't you give up. You can do this. Keep going. Don't give up.
Shout out Mrs. Gee, my favorite auntie. Great consistency, great value, great respect. Good vibe only. Good vibe. No disrespect. Spot on.
Miss G, don't you give up. You can do this. Keep going. Don't give up. Because I was feeling some type of way. You know why I was feeling some type of way? Because I was looking at everybody else's. They were already made that threshold for the people that had already hit that benchmark. I was looking at their content. I was looking at like, wow, everybody else is monetized except me. So the struggle is real. So I just don't want anybody to think that, you know, it's going to be super easy to get those watch hours. What are some of the things that content creators are doing to move forward to getting those 3,000 and 4,000 watch hours? Well, one thing I figured out. I did not want to do lives. No, ma'am. No, sir. I did not want to do any live streaming. But live streaming is one of the easiest ways, one of the quickest ways to build up, to rack up on watch hours. And what I mean by like going live, I mean, you can start your live stream using the YouTube app, or you can also go live using your desktop device. With live streaming, I've seen all sorts of ways that people are doing the live streams. I've seen some people do the silent lives. Me personally, I'm not a fan per se of silent lives. There's not any to me now, in my opinion, I'm not really a fan of silent lives. Now, some people can do them and they do amazing with those silent lives, but you got to have something on that screen that's moving. You shouldn't go over 12 hours. After 12 hours, then, you know, the YouTube police will boot you on off. But I'm not really a fan of silent lives. Now, I must say, I have done a silent live a time or two, and it was only because it was too noisy in the house. But while I was doing that silent live, I was there. My face was there. I just was not talking. I was able to communicate back and forth to the viewers that they were in the chat. Now, the type of live streams I'm not really fond of is when people have just a still image on screen and it's just playing and it's just there. There's no interaction, you know. The host does not come in and communicate back and forth with the chat. So that's something I'm not really a fan of. But hey, if it works for you, hey, baby, more power to you. The initial way that most people, I think, go live is they use the YouTube app, which is made available on our mobile devices, which is awesome, right? You're just simply going to click on the app and you're able to go live. However, if you want to go live using your mobile device, you must have at least 50 subscribers. Yeah, 50 subscribers. And then you can go live from your mobile device using the YouTube app. And once you get that, it's going to take there are a few steps you have to go through with in order to verify that you are who you say you are. And then you can go live. Now, let me tell you, going live was not an easy thing for me. I did not want to go live. No, ma'am. It was a real struggle. But however, I had people to kind of help push me on out there. So yeah, it's not going to feel real comfortable going live that first time because you're like, nobody's going to want to watch. What am I going to talk about? So a lot of people say their intent is just to start out doing like maybe 10 minutes. I mean, you got to get your feet wet somewhere. You know what I'm talking about? You got to get your feet wet starting out some kind of way. So some people just say they're going to start out doing maybe 10 or 15 minutes and they say like, that's the hardest thing ever. But it's easier to me. Like if you got somebody else, a family member or a friend that can come on and kind of help you go, to kind of help make it easy. So that's kind of how it was with me. I had my precious Nita Mae and Lil J. They came on to help me out. So I was like, okay, what's so bad? So yeah, it's more fun when you got somebody, that you can kind of tag team off of. That's kind of like what I did. And so even if you go live for that first time, probably nobody is going to be watching, unless it's something that's really, you're doing something that's like really, really outstanding that you probably won't even have you may not even have anybody come on that live stream with you. I'm just saying. So don't get your hopes up, but you don't want to stop. You keep going. You just keep going. And before you know it, baby, you'll be a pro at it. You know what I'm talking about? So that's one of the ways that you can get your watch hours pretty quick. The fastest way, really, really, to get you some watch hours, baby, if you can get a video that goes viral, a video that goes out there, honey, and it's something that really catches the algorithm, Uncle Al, and a lot of people are watching it, and you can get a lot of watch hours from one video. That one video can prepare you on to the top. But unfortunately, Miss G ain't had that video yet. Hopefully y'all will someday. Yeah, that's a big deal. For the very few, baby, the very handful of people that are able to get those watch hours, honey, I ain't jealous. I ain't mad with you. Yeah, maybe just a little bit. So I'm gonna tell you this. One thing you need to do, if you have several videos already in your playbook, so to speak, what you need to do, baby, is create you a playlist. Now I heard about this. Ooh, child. I think when I first, probably about 3 months in. I ain't saying this one of the first time they talked about it. Sure, they've been doing this for years. But the first time I heard about the playlist was probably about maybe 9 or 10 months ago. I heard this amazing content creator, and I haven't seen her in a while. She was talking about how you need to have a playlist. You need to have a playlist. And I was like, what's the playlist? Because I was brand spanking new, honey. I was fresh out of the womb. I ain't know nothing about all this YouTube stuff. But I discovered what a playlist was. And so what I did was went ahead on and group me some things together, put some videos of the similar content together, and just name me a playlist. So you put your creations, baby, your creations, your content, your videos in a playlist. You might have several playlists, but you want them to be something that's going to run for a little while. You know what I'm talking about? There might be several ones. You want to group them according to what your videos are about. If you have a series of things that you're teaching on or a series of things that you're talking about, you need to group those all together in one playlist, okay? What that does is when a creator clicks over to your channel, they have a playlist that they can run and watch. And by doing that, of course, that will grant you more watch hours. So when you hear creators saying, you hear the gurus saying you need to have a playlist, and that's what they mean. Baby, get you a playlist, honey. If you got a bunch of shorts, I'm just saying, honey, a lot of people start out doing shorts, and those shorts, baby, it takes you like 10 million. You got to have 10 million views per 90 days to just get watch hours. So unless your channel is strictly shorts, baby, them shorts ain't gonna get it. I'm just saying, them shorts ain't gonna get it, baby. You need you some long form content. And when I say long form content, baby, you need you some at least 5 minutes and up. You know what I'm talking about? But now I think YouTube considers a short, nowadays it's like 3 minutes and under, and in the vertical orientation. But they don't change so much stuff, baby. The horizontal might be considered short too, but I do know the vertical 3 minutes and under are considered shorts. It's like a rolling 365 window to maintain your watch hours. Let's say your first video, baby, you might have got 2,000 subscribers from that one video, which is really the case, but you might have got 1,000 views on 5 or 6 videos, right? So within that next year, that same time, that next year, baby, them watch hours is poof, they is gone, baby. So you got to make sure you maintain them 4,000 watch hours on a 365-day rolling window. Oh, did I say that right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Common sense, baby. You know what I'm talking about? Common sense is to have great content. And what do I mean by great content? You got to create engaging content. What's the word? What's the key word here? Engaging content. Yeah, you got to have some engaging content. Basically, baby, they say one of the easiest ways and one of the best ways to have engaging content is to focus on storytelling. And when I say storytelling, I don't mean once upon a time in a faraway land. No, I don't mean that kind of storytelling. I mean, you might do that if you want to. Now, good storytelling is crucial, baby. So in every video, you want to be able to grab the viewer's attention and keep them watching and keep them wanting more. You know how to give you appetizers when you go to the restaurant. They want to give you just a little taste of something. Just a little taste, a little appetizer for what's to come. You know what I'm talking about? So that's how it is, baby, with this good storytelling. You want to give them just enough to keep them engaged and want to keep listening in, right? You want to take them on a journey. You want to create an emotional journey for them, like, what's happening? What's going to happen? What's this about? You want to create emotional journeys that are going to hook them on every scene. You know what I'm talking about? You want to start right out of the gate. You want to be like, what this video is about. As soon as they get in there, honey, you don't want to waste no time. You want them to be like, okay, so this is what this video is about. This is what I came for, right? Right out the gate, baby. Right out the gate. And then you want to create that emotional connectivity. Keep them, on highs and lows. But this, you know what I'm saying? Make a story out of it. Keep them engaged. Keep their minds wondering what's next. Keys to great storytelling. And like I said, baby, I ain't talking about no stories like once upon a time in a far away land. No, baby, not that kind of storytelling, baby. It's all visual, baby. It's all keeping them with that hook, honey, and then keeping them engaged with the highs and the lows, the but, and then. You know what I'm talking about? So just think about it now. Think about what we're talking about now. We're trying to get these watch hours run up. So all these things play a part in getting people to watch and stay engaged in your content to keep the hours rolling. Now, this is something that a lot of people may not do. So let's say you had a video where you talked about how to use Canva or how to download Canva to your desktop. At the end, you want to put up a video end screen that takes you on to another video that is similar in topic. Perhaps that video could be like something that tells you how to add text using Canva. Like a play-by-play, how to do something particular in that software or in the editing. Is it software? In that editing tool. So at the end of that, you might want to end it saying something like, well, if this video was helpful to you, and then you want more tips on how to edit using Canva, check out this video. So you would make sure you have an end screen. That also helps to keep that playlist going, to keep the viewer on your channel longer. So first of all, you're going to have playlists, and then you want to include end screens near the end of your videos. Now, and then let me tell you this last thing that I can think about, baby. It's a lot of other ways, but I'm just touching on 2 or 3 things that kind of help me out. Is you want to make sure that you have a consistent upload, a consistent time that you are on that YouTube platform, baby. Whether you're doing lives, you're uploading video, make sure that you are uploading on a consistent schedule. It doesn't mean you have to do it every single day. It doesn't mean you have to do it every day at the same time, but be consistent. Your viewers don't want to have to wait 2 and 3 weeks before they hear from you again. So maybe in past years, people may not have been doing as many uploads as they do today. A lot of people were getting by with just doing maybe 1 upload a week or maybe 2 uploads a month. But nowadays, it's like, because there's so much competition out there, and people's attention span is like just like that. It's like, I can't snap. But you know what I'm talking about. People's attention spans are not the way it used to be a long time ago. So everything is microwave, and people don't want to have to keep waiting before they see something from you again. You can't just go ghost out here in the YouTube street, baby. You got to be, you know what I'm saying? You got to keep your presence. You got to stay relevant. And you can just, you can do it as much as like throw a post up there. Throw a post, you know what I'm saying? Just let people know you're still here, so they don't have to go out and do smoke signals to try to find you. So just be consistent, baby. So if you can do all these things, or maybe just, work on doing a few of those things, you can get your watch hours. And it's not easy. I just recently became monetized, and honey, I understand it. So I feel the struggle, baby. I feel the pain, honey. Be encouraged and don't give up. The key thing is don't give up. You can do this. Stay motivated, baby. Have some engaging content, baby. Run you some playlists and do you some lives, honey. Be consistent. That's the key. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about my journey, my monetization journey, and what it is and how far I got, baby, check out this video right here. You can't just go ghost out here in the YouTube street, baby.
Auntie.